Hey everyone, welcome to Intuit's 4th annual Trans Plus Summit. My name is Mark Serber. I use he, him pronouns, and I am so honored to be today's host. Before we get everything kicked off, we want to respectfully acknowledge the Tamian Nation, Ohlone, Ramaytush, Muwekma, who have stewarded this land and Mountain View throughout the generations. We ask you to join us in acknowledging their community, their ancestors, and elders, both past and present, as well as their future generations. We also acknowledge that our presence on this land is the result of the occupation of indigenous land. This acknowledgement is part of our commitment to work towards honoring the ongoing legacies of the Tamian Nation, Ohlone, Ramaytush, and Muwekma, and indigenous peoples around the world. With that said, let's start rolling by taking things to highlights from Trans Plus summits of the past.
I often say that diversity is a fact, but inclusion is a choice. At Intuit, we believe that making that choice for inclusion is core to who we are.
Additionally, Intuit encourages all our employees, as citizens of whichever state or country you live in, to personally participate in the civic and political process outside of work.
One of my goals in life is to be the first transgender president of the United States.
It's incredible to see how the summit has come together over the years. And when I joined Intuit via the MailChimp acquisition, I was thrilled to find a community, a strong community of Trans Plus people to lean on and to welcome me with open arms. I was also further encouraged to learn that our community is celebrated at all levels of the organization through the supportive programming like the summit. This leads me to introduce our first set of speakers onto the stage. Help me give a warm welcome to the key folks that have helped grow and support this event, Jessica and George, our Global Pride co-chairs.
Hello everyone, my name's George Kusaros and I use he, him, his pronouns. On behalf of the Global Pride Network, our Trans Advisory Board, Pride's executive sponsor Atticus Tysen, and Chief Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Officer Humaira Shahid, and the entire DEI team, welcome. Welcome to you here with us. Welcome to our 1,000 plus registrants to Intuit Trans Summit 2023.
2023, y'all. My name is Jessica Dark. My pronouns are she, her. I want to take that extra special welcome to all the folks who are joining us internationally as well. We've got folks from Israel, India, France, Canada, all over the world. And to all of you here in the United States as well, no matter where you are, thank you. I also want to follow up Mark's excellent land acknowledgement, taking a moment to acknowledge that my home is in Connecticut on the traditional land of the Mohegan and Pequot people.
We appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend this time with us today for this really important event. Now, a special thank you to those of you who'll be watching outside the US, as we appreciate the time zone difference might not be kind. But recordings will be available a few days after the event, so please be sure to check back in with the event website for further updates. Now, a huge thanks to our trans-led events team, everyone who's worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this happen. And may I say that a lot of these people are volunteers. They've dedicated their time to this, so a huge thank you. I also want to thank my co-lead, Jessica, who has been one of the drivers of this. 4 years ago, you started doing it, so and continues to do it. Thank you for pouring all your passion into this project, and it really makes a difference, so thank you. At Intuit, we are supported and encouraged to bring our whole selves to work every single day. And that's thanks to the tireless work of our DEI team and our local employee resource group leaders. The Pride Network functions across 16 different sites globally, powered by 26 passionate people who drive all their passion and all their energy into supporting our LGBTQ+ employees and communities. Pretty special. Over the last year, we have mobilized a strategy to build awareness, education, and the use of pronouns across our organization. From our local leaders hosting fireside chats to giving out pronouns pin badges, to our most senior leaders demonstrating their pronouns. It is important to us how you identify. We've even made it possible for all our employees to opt in to self-identify with their pronouns and with their gender identity. 15% have done so, which might not seem like a large number, but in comparison to our peers, we are on par, if not higher.
Now, I think it's important that I address everyone today, and provide a content warning. Many of the stories today we're going to hear are going to be heartwarming. You're going to laugh, I guarantee it. But others are going to be very troubling, heartbreaking, and in many cases, triggering. So please be mindful of your own mental health and flex those empathy muscles when engaging with others. But one thing you're going to hear throughout all the stories is a message of hope, and that's hope with a capital H.
I am deeply humbled to be here today to continue learning and educating myself so I can be the best ally and advocate to the trans plus community. At home, my husband and I, we try to teach our children that everyone has a wonderfully unique identity, that we should embrace our differences and honor our traditions. And our hope is that our legacy and their future is one of understanding, compassion, and acceptance. We can all do our bit for a better future, especially when we start with movements like this. And I say movement because today, without action, is just a moment in time. So as we start the 4th Intuit Trans Plus Summit, I invite you all to open your hearts and open your minds for what is to come today, and acknowledge the full expression of the Trans Plus community. Together, we can learn from their stories, and together we can understand how their stories intersect with our own.
Intersections. I've got a lot of intersections you can see just on the surface, and you'll get in day-to-day encounters with me. I have plenty that you can't see. For example, I do have mental health issues, including PTSD. And it's important to acknowledge that today, because when you are hearing these stories and when you are thinking about these, think about the intersections that you have with others that aren't as visible as some. Now, I was the first person to come out here at Intuit many years ago now, and I thought I was alone. Turns out we had another employee who had already been out for years when they actually joined Intuit. Natalie Ryan, one of the other original founders of our Intuit Trans Advisory Board, was already here, but we had no idea about each other. 10 years later, we have over 125 people on our trans support channel, one of the most comprehensive benefit packages of any company out there, and we're not alone. and neither are you. You are not alone today, and you're not alone tomorrow. We are under attack in just about every country in the world. We have healthcare challenges. For example, in the UK, it can take up to 4 years under the NHS to get basic healthcare for trans folks. When we did the Transgender Day of Remembrance last year, there were just too many names on it to begin with, but Brazil, by far, had the longest list that I have ever seen. We are under attack almost daily, socially, emotionally, and in fact, politically. The sheer number of anti-LGBTQ bills targeting our community, targeting kids, y'all, kids, is higher and higher and grows higher every year. During a recent political fundraiser in the United States in 2023, a speaker called for our eradication from public life. Eradication? It's a pretty strong word. This is hate and intentional misinformation being shared and disseminated across multiple platforms. And it is hard. It is hard not to feel crushed under that pressure. And that pressure is kind of the point. They want us to sit down. They want us to shut up, and they want us to not be. They want us scared. They don't care about the psychological harm or the emotional harm they're causing. And again, that harm is the point. But, huge but, in every place that these legal challenges are happening, we have people fighting for us. We have more allies and advocates than we have ever had in history, y'all. We are not alone. You are not alone. There are more people fighting for us than you've ever seen. Nothing has gone unchallenged yet. And we have representation like we have never seen in media. We've got content creators and actors out there. I can list dozens of them, but let's say Asia Kate Dillon. How about N.D. Stevenson or Elliot Page? How about Kim Petras and Sam Smith winning a Grammy? Now, they're the first out people to win a Grammy, but I do need to personally recognize Wendy Carlos, who won 3 Grammys in 1969 when they couldn't be out. How about 340 LGBTQ plus individuals that were elected in the last cycle here in the US? 14 are trans. 1,000 trans folks ran, y'all. How many of them could have won 10 years ago or 20? It may seem like things are getting worse, and in many respects they are. But in many respects, they are getting better. Progress is a march, and days like today are part of that march. Companies like Intuit, and maybe yours, standing up and going, this is what is right, count. Sasan, you saw it on the sizzle reel. Diversity is a fact, inclusion is a choice, and we've made that choice. You all have made that choice. And a lot of information is going to be shared today, and we're lucky. Everyone that is attending is lucky because you're going to walk away a better informed human, ally, and if we're really lucky, you're going to walk away an advocate. And with that, please allow me the pleasure of introducing our Senior VP of Product Development, Chief Information Security Officer, and Pride's executive sponsor, Atticus Tysen.
Stay up here with me?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, you guys stay up with me.
Staying up here.
Keep me company up here. So I am so excited to open yet another Trans Plus Summit with George and Jessica. And in addition to the thanks that Jessica and George gave to the whole crew here, I just want to give a huge thanks and round of applause to Jess and to George for their leadership. So thank you so much. So as Jess mentioned, my name is Atticus Tysen. My pronouns are he, him, his. I have been at the company for about 22 years. I'm currently the Senior Vice President of Product Development as well as our Chief Information Security Officer. It is tremendous and terrific and all of the other T words, trans plus, to welcome all of our Intuit employees and our guests here in the room where we see some beautiful faces. Thank you all for braving the rain and showing up in person. And for those of you also watching around the globe, thank you so much for joining us. As I said earlier, I've been here for 22 years. I'm proud to say I've been out since the beginning, since during the interview process. Back when Google was new 22 years ago, the hiring manager had Googled my name and found that I was part of a student group at my college and asked me right out of the bat in the interview. And I was a little bit afraid at first, thinking, oh, which way is this going to go? And I said, well, let's see what happens. And I couldn't have been more thrilled with the whole 22 years I've been here as a company. We've just been so welcoming and from the beginning. It's part of who we are, diversity and inclusion as a company. Our employees, we know, thrive in a place where it's safe to be their full selves and to focus on our customers and to do their work and enjoying and relating with each other. It's part of our company culture. It's part of our strategy as a company to really be diverse and inclusive and to have equity in our environment. And this is why we support all of our communities across the company to have meaningful dialogue and to have events like this today so that we can exchange and learn and grow together. Our history of supporting LGBTQ rights goes long and deep. We have had a perfect score on the Human Rights Campaign for the last 15 years. We are continuing to evolve as the questionnaire continues to evolve. For those of you who know, there are some new ones coming up, especially related to Trans Plus benefits, and we're going to do our best to stay current with those and keep our 100% score. We're going to continue to speak up internally and externally for the rights of all of our employees, especially LGBTQ plus folks. And we're going to continue building awareness and empathy and to all of the challenges of our LGBTQ plus employees, workers, customers, everywhere. And we will strive for more inclusion and allyship at work and beyond. And again, Jess and George, you are such a big part of that. Thank you so much. As Jess shared today, you're going to learn ways that we can all play a role in supporting the trans plus community. I have much to learn. Even though I'm a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I'm not part of the trans plus community, and I learn every day. And I'm so excited to be learning things personally here today and really learning how to be a better ally and to create a more inclusive environment for everybody. And now with that, we have the honor of welcoming to the stage Humaira Shahid, Intuit's Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer and VP of Talent Development. Thank you so much.